Today's episode is presented by Mimics in theaters this February, Friday the 13th. Down on his luck impressionist Sam Reinhold makes a pact with Fergus, a wicked, strings-attached puppet that holds the promise to propel Sam to stardom, unleashing a nightmare that threatens the safety of those he loves. From the mind of Christopher Palaha comes his directorial debut, Mimics, a bold blend of horror, fun, and romance. Starring Chris Palaha, Mariah, Steven Tobolowsky, Chris Parnell, Jess Hutch, Jason Marsden, Austin Basis, and more. Opening in theaters February, Friday the 13th.
I hate to say it, but his parents have been feeling unwell as of late, and I'm staying with them to help take care of Alex.
Oh, sounds serious.
Oh, no, it's not serious. Nothing terminal. It's just a touch of consumption.
And welcome back to Horror Queers. We're talking, I thought it was some feminist endearment, like dude. We're talking, you scratch my back, I'll lick your balls. And we're talking, I've been stuck with this major boner for you. And I'm Joe.
And I'm Trace, and we're talking, if you don't take your hand off my twat, I'm gonna snap it off.
I mean, for an obscure early 90s film, there are a lot of zingers in this.
There are so many zingers. Everyone, we are discussing the 1993 Drew Barrymore film Doppelganger. A film that this is a first time watch for both of us, but also, I mean, this doesn't seem to be that well known of a film.
No, and folks, you will quickly realize that no one seems to know much of anything about this because there is no information about this movie out there.
Not really. And, you know, I would get it if it was a huge piece of, like, just a total, well, I'm sorry, it is a total mess, but if it was a total piece of shit, and, like, everyone should be embarrassed by this, but I don't know, man. I'm just gonna come out and say this. I had a lot of fun with this movie.
Oh, Trace, this movie is my new personality. I'm in love with this movie. I need there to be a deluxe boutique, 4K release of this movie. We need to dig everything up. We need oral histories. Like, people need to be digging into this movie because it is such a fucking weird little curiosity.
Okay, so question for you, though, because we had both heard, the ending of Doppelganger is absolutely wild. And we both shared a concern where it's like, okay, well, is it just the ending that's wild? So we got to get through, an hour and 30 minutes because it's an hour and 45-minute movie.
Right.
To get there, or did you find yourself like kind of marveling at some of the bizarre choices made throughout the film leading up to the finale?
Oh no, it's all the way through. Like, this is what? Huh? Okay, curious, weird. And then you get to the ending and you're like, no, what the fuck? Like, folks, I cannot recommend you checking this movie out enough. But I will say I'm very biased because this is giving early Lifetime feels to me. Like, this is giving a made-for-television movie for me.
It is. And so my husband had actually seen this. He rented this a lot when he was a kid. So
oh God, okay.
When I said we were covering this, he was like, oh my God. Like, because he hadn't seen it in a while, but he was like, I just remember how absolutely wild it is. And so I watched it, and he came in during the finale, and I was talking to him about it, and I was like, this is so fun. And he goes, it's that period specifically of early 90s films that are just kind of messy in the best way possible. And it got me thinking to where, because we always talk about the 90s being like the doldrums of horror up until Scream came in and saved the day.
Sure.
I think ultimately, the more I'm looking at, again, this pre-1995, like 90s horror films, where I'm like, okay, I think the issue is we didn't have successful franchises happening in the early 90s, but there were lots of horror films coming out in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. They're just all weird little fuckers like this.
They're very weird. And so watching this, I was like, you know what? More power to you. It takes some balls to make a movie like this.
Truly. And we're not talking about massive budgets either. So even films that don't particularly do well can still end up making a mark. I just think that this time period isn't fondly remembered. So in some ways, there's this weird cultural gap among cinephiles, or at least horror audiences, where we just say, no, these are the dark ages, don't go looking. But I'm like, I don't know. It seems like everybody with a $3 million budget was just making some really weird shit.
They were taking a lot of big swings. And granted, like a lot of those big swings weren't well received, because I think that's the other thing, is that the early 90s, because we were in that post like 80s slasher, like MPAA stronghold.
Oh, we hated horror right now.
Exactly. Like as a culture, we hated horror. But the films that were coming out at that time were just really swinging for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was very fun to watch this on the heels of Popcorn a couple weeks ago, because I kind of thought, oh my God, did we just stumble on an amazing double bill?
Okay, Joe, tell me if this was your reaction to this too. Because yes, we knew the ending was weird. And so we get, spoiler alert, everyone, the psychiatrist, like Mission Impossible mask / popcorn disguise twist. And I was like, oh, okay, that must be the wild ending, because this is pretty ridiculous. And
sure, yeah.
I also thought, oh my God, like how wild that we're watching this right after Popcorn. But then we get the creature ending.
The KNB creature effects, yes, which is basically Hellraiser? Miniature Hellraiser.
Mixed with like some alien thing. Like, I mean, we'll talk about whatever this thing's supposed to be. I truly do not know where this design came from, but
no. Before we proceed, though, I did want to give some content warning. So there are definitely discussions and implications of, again, spoiler alert, folks, incest and sexual assault. And also, yes, the cat does die, but it's very brief.
It's off screen. You only see the body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's just jump into this, because admittedly, like you said, there isn't a ton of information out there about this film. So my production history is fairly short, which I think is fine, because I think we're going to need more time to go through the plot of this thing.
Oh my God, trying to figure this fucking out. You told me that How Did This Get Made spent an entire episode just trying to figure out what the fuck is happening at any given moment.
Oh, and I will say, y'all, like, go listen to that episode of How Did This Get Made, because it's actually, I was nervous going into it, because June, who I love, June Diane Raphael, but she's not great with horror films. She doesn't really like horror films very much. And I was pleased to hear that all of them really liked this movie. This was also one that Jason Mantzoukas rented a lot in college. And it was just really fun to listen to them, like, again, like, also just really admire it. Like, even June was like, I think Drew Barrymore's really good in this movie.
Yeah.
The big issue that mainly June had, which I understand, is that Drew Barrymore was 17 when they filmed this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna propose doing two different games, one of which I may still do. We'll see how it goes. But one of them was going to be, hey, guess what scenes get censored in the UK and Australia?
Oh, the blood shower scene?
The shower scene.
Which, well, because I was like, well, how is that legal? How is it legal to, because I even checked, I was like, maybe it was the end of her 17th year, you know, where she was about to turn 18. No. She had just turned 17 when they're filming this movie.
Tell you?
Yeah, go ahead.
She's an emancipated minor, so they got to treat her like she was 18. I don't know if that also means like she's able to sign over the form that says, yes, I allow myself to be nude on screen despite being underage, but it's very peculiar.
Yeah, and I mean, because also by this point, she'd already appeared totally nude in Interview magazine. That was when she was 16 years old.
Right. Yeah.
So,
this is definitely during her wild child period. And I will have more to say about that when we get to her mother.
Thank you so much. Yes. Okay. So, Doppelganger is Israeli director Avi Nesher's second Hollywood film, the first being the 1991 sci-fi action film Time Bomb, starring Michael Biehn, which I've never seen.
Nope, me neither.
Yeah. It was produced and distributed by the ITC Entertainment Group, who did all of the movies in the Stepfather franchise.
Okay, we're back. We're back again.
Yep. Now, Nesher wrote the screenplay for Doppelganger as an antidote to the taxing universe-building effort that went into planning Hammerheads, a large-scale sci-fi movie that never came to fruition.
Right.
In his words, it was an attempt to make a genuinely terrifying movie by narrowing the focus, because he apparently had a really rough time during Hammerhead, because it was just, I mean, again, this large sci-fi movie, so there were so many moving pieces. He was like, I just want to make something that's simple. And
right. Okay.
I get that, but I look at Doppelganger and I'm like, this is anything but simple.
Well, I guess it's a different kind of world building.
Yeah, a little bit. I will say that information, too, is coming from an article in Cinema Fantastique magazine.
Oh, you've been pulling some good stuff from there.
Well, and they're things that are like, it's like a picture of the magazine that's like in a Wayback Machine type thing. So,
oh, sure. Yeah, I don't know if it exists anymore.
Yeah. I mean, but even in that, though, I mean, there wasn't a ton of like good information. It was mostly just him kind of jerking himself off, but it's fine.
Oh, well, yes. I think we'll also have more to say about Mr. Nesher.
Probably so. But yeah, so this wasn't a large budget film. It was about $3 million. So like there wasn't a huge budget for wardrobe, which means that Drew Barrymore was providing most of her own clothes.
Okay.
The calling card, of course, is the climactic effects work done by K&B Effects Group. I want to say, okay, so let's get into the release of this. So
right.
I have to thank you for this, Joe, because you found this interview with producer Donald P. Borgers, and it was like a 2-minute clip on YouTube. But
yep.
He's talking about this movie and the test screening. So they did a test screening, and basically he says, okay, this movie had a lot of problems. He wrote writer-director Avi Nesher a letter saying like what the problems were, noting certain points during the screening where the audience was getting restless or where they were walking out to get popcorn. So he suggested just using some preemptive logic to fix all of this without resorting to reshoots, which would, of course, cost a lot more money.
Right.
He suggested some judicious editing, moving a few scenes around, and putting in some new ADR lines to clean up some of the confusion.
Sure. Standard practice.
Exactly. He estimated about another $20,000 from the distributor ITC would make all of this work. And he knew that they were so fond of Nesher that they would give him the money with no issues. They wouldn't even blink at $20,000. It's fine.
I mean, $20,000 on a $3 million investment, if it helps to stave off things like walkouts and people getting bored, yeah, that seems like a good investment.
Yeah, so once they did that, the plan was to do another test screening, make a short list of things that they would need to go out and do a week of pickups for, and then, bam, the movie would be quote-unquote fixed.
There we go.
Nesher wrote him back explaining that he'd already been paid for the film and he's happy with it the way it is.
Okay.
So, okay, he was like, well, that sucks. So then they have a cast and crew screening in which Drew Barrymore walked out in reel 8 of a 10-reel picture.
Yeah, so this would have been before the climax, admittedly, but not great. Your star should not be walking out of your premiere.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, Borger turned around and told Nesher, hey, Avi, don't listen to me. Listen to the star of your movie. They're going to need her for advertising, and if she's not even going to watch the thing, she's not going to support it. Like, you can take this gun and shoot yourself in the foot if you want, but like, come on, we were paid fair. We don't have to hold these guys up for more money. Like, they didn't give us a lot of money, but we knew it was $3 million going in. We were paid fair. Let's just finish the job. Let's get this thing to where it needs to be to make it like an audience-friendly-ish picture.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm nodding. In agreement.
Yeah. So I guess days, weeks, whatever later, Nesher writes back going, that's not my problem. I have no intention of re-editing it or anything. And that was the end of that.
Yep, I'm done. Which does remind me of, there are situations where people finish a film and then they're just like, no, things are done. Like, we can't get reshoots or we don't have the budget or those kinds of things. And I can kind of understand it, but this is actually a producer. This is the person who kind of controls the purse strings, encouraging you, saying people are not responding to this movie, but we still have the capacity to do that. And your writer-director saying, yeah, no, I'm good.
No,
I'm good.
No. I mean, on a level, I'm like, cool, this is the movie he wanted to release. Like, he got his final cut. That is what it is. It feels more like he was just lazy.
I think it's actually something different. Okay. So I think there's a combination of narcissism because I read a couple of other interviews with him. So you mentioned that he's an Israeli director. He's actually very well regarded in Israeli cinema. So he's not a hack. He's a hack when he comes to America and makes a couple of bad movies. And then he basically, Paul Verhoeven's, gets the fuck out of Hollywood and goes back to making prestigious Israeli films. Yeah. So I did find one interview with him where he ever so briefly talked about his time in Hollywood. And he basically said that he wrote these films as an intellectual, that's me using air quotes, exercise where his heart was not in it at all. So I think for him, he just said, what if we do a semi-erotic thriller, kind of sci-fi horror film with Drew Barrymore?
/ noir.
Yeah, the genre hybrid of this movie, the hybridity. But yeah, I think for him, it was just, Yeah, no, I did that. So when he was done the film, I think he was just done with the film. Like, he didn't fucking care anymore.
Yeah, he might have been done with America at that point, too. And that's actually really... Because I did look at his filmography. I looked at some of his other stuff. I was like, oh, he hasn't really done something like this again, since 1993. So I wonder if it's like, he comes to Hollywood and all these producers look at this Israeli director coming over and they say, hey, Israeli director, here's some schlock for you to direct.
Maybe, yeah. I would feel differently if he wasn't also writing some of this.
Yeah, but then I wonder if that's maybe part of a deal,
Possibly.
But you're right, though. Like, why, if he's not passionate about it, if his heart's not in it, okay, direct it, but why are you writing it?
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this schlock because maybe that's a foot in the door, but it doesn't work.
Okay. Well, either way, Doppelganger premiered at the Avoriaz Fantastic Film Festival in January of 1993, where it was nominated but didn't win the Grand Prize Award. This did not go to theaters. It was released straight to VHS on May 26th, 1993, and the reviews that were written about it were mostly negative, but Joe, we don't even have a Rotten Tomato score for this movie because only 2 reviews have been posted for it.
Damn it. That means when we add R2, we still won't have enough.
So one, if there's a critic out there, we need one more review for Doppelganger to get it a Rotten Tomato score.
You know what? Challenge accepted, because I was looking around at our friends and colleagues who have watched this film. Had I known about this, I will apologize live and on mic. Mr. Josh Hurtado has rated this film a 5 out of 5. So Josh, challenge to you. I know you have Rotten Tomato accreditation. Let's get this sucker fresh rated.
Get it up there. Because I'm definitely, I gave this a 3.5, but it's like I really like this movie.
I'm going to be rewatching this movie with regularity.
Well, so I will say I did watch this twice. So I watched it the first time and I was like, holy shit, like, what is this movie? And
just sit with it, sit in a dark corner, think about it a little.
Exactly. And when I couldn't find much when I was researching it, I listened, again, some other podcast episodes. And most of those podcasts, again, were people trying to figure out what exactly happens in this movie. I was like, okay, maybe I didn't get it all the way, because they were introducing some concepts where I was like, oh, wait, I didn't consider that.
Right.
So I went back and I watched it again. And I think... You
think you've got it?
I think I've made sense of it for the most part. Yeah, I think I have. So we're going to do this. We're going to do the same thing, Joe.
Yes, we are.
But what happens in this movie?
Hello, and welcome to the world of Scare You to Sleep. I'm your host, Shelby Novak, a show for those of us who need something a little stronger than counting sheep, who find horror to be a strangely relaxing escape. Here you'll find a myriad of fright-filled tales, from fictional to true stories to high strangeness to guided nightmares, where I take you on a journey through your own personal nightmare. So come get lost in the terror with me. Listen to Scare You to Sleep wherever you listen to podcasts. Sweet screams.
Okay, so we open on an angel music box with the inscription, "To Holly, Love Daddy," and then we follow Holly Gooding, or who we assume to be Holly Gooding.
You mean Holly Golightly? Oops, I'm sorry. We're not doing Breakfast at Tiffany's, the horror movie.
My God. The parallels, we will get there. So yes, this is Drew Barrymore. She's looking very glamorous. She's wearing, a headscarf. She's walking around the New York streets. There's a little bit of slow motion. The wind is blowing. And then all of a sudden, she thinks that she sees a woman who looks very similar to her. And it gives her pause. And she looks very concerned. And when this woman walks by, it's very clearly not Drew Barrymore. But we're immediately meant to understand as an audience, oh, she thought she was seeing a double.
Yeah, well, because, you're seeing a movie called Doppelganger. So
yeah.
You're queued up a little bit.
Don't worry, folks. It'll still take us nearly 30 minutes to define Doppelganger in this film.
Oh, but boy, is that one of my favorite exposition dumps I've ever seen in a movie.
Which one? There's
so many!
Okay, so we cut from this to images of her, so Holly, being kissed by a man in a hotel room. But this is edited very strategically, so it's a little bit confusing as to exactly what's happening. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't until the very end of the film, when we get the reveal that the killer is Dr. Heller, that I realized, oh, this is him.
Yes, and when you rewatch it, like, it's the glasses. The glasses are always a signifier, but yeah, on a rewatch, it's plain as day that this is Dr. Heller.
Yes, so played by Dennis Christopher, who you just mentioned, the lead actor from Fade to Black.
Yeah, which we mentioned in Popcorn, which again has plot similarities to this movie.
Yeah, it's like this guy got weirdly typecast, but also not, because he wasn't actually in Popcorn.
He's like if Roddy McDowall is not available, you get this guy.
Yeah, like he's hot but generic. I don't know. It was curious. Anyway, so yes, he is basically making out with her. She's making a lot of sex noises, and I couldn't tell if this was made by people who are all identifying as virgins, because he is taking off her underwear and she acts like she is orgasming.
Well, because I think he's like eating her out, but it looks like he's eating her out over her skirt.
Yeah, so I'm going to say that doesn't work for me as a sex scene.
No, it doesn't. But again, you're still watching a 17-year-old girl do this.
This is true, which is probably why we end up framing it this way.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so later we see Holly going to the... We should note that the character has not been named. There's been no dialogue.
No.
So Holly arrives at the door of a penthouse and overhears Mrs. Gooding, who is played by Drew Barrymore's real-life mother, Jayed Barrymore, and Mrs. Gooding is talking about getting rid of her. So Holly, who now appears to have goopy Vaseline kind of fingers, as well as a very perfusive nosebleed, goes into this room, stabs the redheaded woman in slow motion, breaks every piece of furniture. So if there's a glass table, if there's a lamp, it's all getting shattered.
I mean, this woman is like running around her apartment, just like, it looks like she's aiming for things to run into.
100%, yes. And it's very cinematic and showy. It's giving Brian DePalma. And yeah, it's highly entertaining.
And this woman is delivering some exposition in this scene where she's on the phone with someone and she's basically saying, if she marries the shrink, then they'll audit her and then they'll wonder where the money went. So this is supposed to clue us in immediately to, okay, this is her mother. She knows that she's fucking her shrink and she is trying to do something to stop this from happening, which includes killing her, like killing her own daughter.
Yes, yeah. Although I will say the film kind of introduces this. I sort of got part of the gist of this, and then the film doesn't pick it back up until right near the end. So you're very forgiven if you forget all about the money.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, it does not come back until later. And even when we do get that explanation, it's in like a ramble of a villain monologue that goes so...
Truly.
Joe, I transcribed the villain monologue and we're going to go through it sentence by sentence.
Oh, I cannot wait. Before we get there, though, I want to bring in... So, as we said, there's so little information about this. You know, there's an old, bloody, disgusting article that's basically, hey, did you know that there's this forgotten Drew Barrymore title?
Yeah.
But it's, you know, even the reviews are not particularly informative. So I started hitting Reddit, I hit Letterboxd reviews and so on. So I found one from Patrick Pryor on Letterboxd, and this helped me to crack open the Drew Barrymore mother stuff. So Patrick Pryor from Letterboxd says, if you want to dig deeper, Doppelganger works as a sort of meta-commentary on Barrymore's life and career up till that point. She literally murders her own mother in the movie and blames all of her wild and deviant behavior on her evil double. Trace, what do you know about Drew Barrymore's troubled childhood?
I mean, I know, so I've always wanted to read her 1990 autobiography, Little Girl Lost, because, like, again, releasing a memoir at age 15. I basically know that she was into drugs very, very, very early in her career. Like, when she was, like, 5 years old, she was doing cocaine at parties. And that's, I mean, really the bulk of it, like, because my mom loves Drew Barrymore. And the reason why my mom always said was because she was like, you know, she had the roughest childhood. She was deep into drugs, alcohol, lots of problems, and she came out of it. You know, she came out the other side, and I just really respect her for that. So that's the log line of what I know about Drew Barrymore. But I'm assuming you have some maybe more in-depth information for me.
I do. So Drew was essentially raised by her mother as a single parent because her father, John Barrymore, died when she was quite young. And you're right about the partying at a very early age, but a lot of this was actually facilitated by Jayed. So Jayed would go out to like Club 54, and she would bring Drew along at age 9. And we'd be doing drugs and we'd be drinking and so on. Like, Drew has very much been on the record as saying her mother was doing what she could as a single mother. Like, she worked a lot. It felt like she was an absentee parent at different points. Like, Drew kind of insinuated that she felt a double sense of abandonment, a dead father and then a completely absent mother. But when mom was around, we were partying.
I mean, look, I know, because I know cocaine was a big drug of choice for hers, and I have been on cocaine, and I can't imagine being at a party
with a child,
even if I'm high on cocaine and offering said child the cocaine.
Right.
Like, I can't. That's another podcast episode, but it is wild to me.
It's true. And here's me over here. I don't do cocaine. I don't even know what it looks like.
She doesn't even know what it looks like. Everyone go watch Do Revenge. That's what that quote's from.
Yes. Okay, there's actually more. So it gets a little bit darker. So this is, like, not great parenting, but it also sounds like maybe a single mother who is working through some stuff, struggling a little bit. So I'm also pulling this from a piece that People did about the relationship between Drew Barrymore and her mother. So Jayad put Drew Barrymore into a psychiatric ward when she was 13, and she was there for 18 months.
Holy I did not know that either.
Yeah, so needless to say, this is part of what causes a very long-standing separation between mother and daughter. So when she gets out, Drew Barrymore legally emancipates herself from her mother, and she did this partially to also take better control of her career. So by the time she makes something like Doppelganger, she technically was allowed to be treated like an 18-year-old on set, which, you know, it removes a lot of the child protection acts. So she doesn't have to go to school. She doesn't have to stop working after a certain amount of hours, or she can work through the night if she wants to. And she claims this was part of her wanting to have a kind of control and agency over her film choices and so on. And in theory, that sounds great, but also Drew Barrymore is a huge kind of hot mess. Like, she had already been to rehab by this point, like even before the psychiatric stay. And of course, there's continued sort of acting out behavior. So some of the pornographic stuff, you know, flashing David Letterman, other things like that. So in hindsight, these are all very clear cries for help. Like, she is an unparented child and somebody needed to step in. I don't like the way that Steven Spielberg handled it. So that's her godfather. He basically gave her a quilt on her 18th or 20th birthday, and it was filled with the images from her Playboy spread. And the quilt basically said, "Cover up." Oh,
maybe though they had that kind of rapport, because Drew Barrymore does like stay friends with a lot of these people. So or has Barrymore ever given her thought on that gift?
I don't know about that. I mean, I think she's in a much better place, and she has come around to a lot of folks, but I gathered it took some time. So specifically with respect to her mother, Jayad, Drew ended up being estranged from her for years. Like, she talked about it to Howard Stern in 2001. She dedicated a post on social media in 2015 when she published her memoir, which is called Wildflower. So she apparently had started to make up with her mother at that point, because she thanks her in the acknowledgments, and she says, like, she was a hardworking, you know, kind of survivor figure. So they are good now, but it took them a long time. Remember the timeline, though. So she gets out of the psychiatric facility 3 to 4 years before Doppelganger gets made. I have no idea how her mother gets cast in this film.
I was going to say, so like, why is she in this movie? Unless this is just Drew Barrymore saying, all right, I know who's going to play that part of the woman I kill in the first scene.
Yeah, and we should note that Jayad Barrymore did try to have an acting career, so it's not as if we said, hey, get my mom to play my mom so I can fucking murder her.
Right.
Like, it wasn't out of complete nowhere, but according to every article I looked at, the two of them were completely estranged by this point, and had been for a while and would be for a while. So I don't know how this comes together.
That is fascinating. And I mean, like, again, this kill scene, like, it's like it's a gory scene. Like, there is blood flying everywhere, but it's like, is it in slow motion? Is it in slow motion?
There's definitely parts in slow motion, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of that Tenebrae arm painting the wall scene, where it's like she's just moving everywhere because we have to cover as much of this apartment we can in blood.
which is the most consistent comparisons that this film gets, is basically we say this is either like a Brian DePalma film or a Dario Argento film or a combination of the two.
Yeah, I mean, Dario Argento, I mean, again, the Suspiria lighting in this movie, the greens, reds,
But it's so bad and so obvious.
I loved it, though. I loved it. Because how often do we get green lighting in movies, Joe? I was just living for it. And
it's just so funny. It's like, oh my God, what are the light bulbs? Like, when she gets to this apartment with this Patrick character, it's like, is the bedroom exclusively lit by green light bulbs or red light bulbs? Like, what is the lighting scheme of this apartment? There's
no practical reason for this lighting. Much like Suspiria, it just is. It's there to give a mood. And yes, you can look at this and be like, oh, wow, this douchebag thought to put, oh, yeah, this room's going to be red, this room's going to be green. That's the end of it. And truthfully, that may be the case. I don't care.
Cool. It's stylish.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those things where if logic is a deal breaker for you, this movie is not going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, okay.
No. Okay. So, mom, dead, cut to a plane landing in Los Angeles. We will learn that this is 6 months later, and Holly is taking a cab to check out an apartment that she has seen listed in the classifieds. So, she buzzes writer Patrick Highsmith.
Patricia Highsmith. I know. This guy's a dead ringer for Paul Rudd, and I could not figure out. I was like, I know him from something. What do I know him from?
So this is George Newbern. How do you know him?
I know him from Scandal.
Okay.
He's Charlie in like all the seasons of Scandal, but you probably know him from Adventures in Babysitting.
I do know him from Adventures in Babysitting. Yeah. He's a cutie patootie.
Yeah, he has nothing to do in this movie. He has a lot to do in this movie, but he's a very passive character.
Yeah, he's there to facilitate the discovery of information.
I confess, I did not know that Drew Barrymore was not our protagonist of this film. It really is Patrick.
I mean, the early scenes make it seem like, okay, we're going to be following Holly on her journey through Mulholland Drive. Oh, wait, never mind. It's not a Lynchian surreal thing, except it kind of fucking is.
Isn't it? I'm convinced that David Lynch saw this before making Mulholland Drive.
If he did, he's smoking a cigarette and drinking some kind of expensive scotch and just saying, I can do this, but I can do it better.
Sarah Sherman, aka Sarah Square from SNL, her 4.5-star Letterboxd review for this movie is, this is Mulholland Drive for the girls and the gays.
Yes, correct. No lies detected.
Even though Mulholland Drive is for the girls and the gays, but yes.
Also, the more cerebral girls and gays, though. This is the watered down, I've been drinking, and it's, Tuesday night kind of version.
Exactly.
Okay, so yes, she rings the bell, and we might as well have Looney Tune this guy's eyes, because he's going, He's so attracted to her immediately. He's showing her around this apartment. He's charging her $420 a month for this apartment. And
in Los Angeles.
Okay. It's kind of a steal, but also this is $1,993, and she gets a bedroom that she shares with him. Like, it's a 1-bedroom apartment, and he sleeps on the couch, and there's 1 bathroom. I think that he's still making money off this.
Probably. I mean, look, I was watching this, and I was like, this is Red Flag City, and
my God. If she had any kind of sense of self-preservation, and she wasn't actually a killer twin, girl, get the fuck out of there.
But okay, I actually kind of like that he was just such a good heart. Like, Patrick is a nice character. I mean,
you tried to call him Paul Rudd there.
I was about to call him Paul Rudd. I know I was about to call him Paul Rudd. But like, I don't know. Did you find yourself swept up in their romance? Because I confess, I did. I really wanted these two kids to work out together.
I wanted it to work out, but I don't think they have good chemistry. So, no, like the narrative was telling me, these kids are going to make it. And I thought, shouldn't they like each other a little bit more than this, though?
Well, it's because they're Drew Barrymore. I mean, because you have to figure out, at what moment is she the different personality? Because that's the thing. She literally does have multiple personality disorder in this movie.
Yes, and that's on top of the fact that she will literally split into, Hellraiser creatures.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll explain it.
We will get there. We will go through it. Yes. Okay. So he shows her around this apartment. It is filled with, as I mentioned, deficiencies or takebacks. So he's got a cat, Nathan, that she doesn't seem to respond to, but it never comes to anything.
No.
We've got an apartment that shakes because it's right near construction and some other things. And then, yeah, it's only got the one bedroom, the one bathroom. And I mean, it's so very clearly his space. It almost doesn't even seem like he placed the ad or he forgot about it.
Yeah. I mean, well, he seems very surprised when she shows up, as you said, when he's gone all googly eyes. But I mean,
yeah,
he really hit the jackpot with this one.
Truly, because she doesn't seem to fucking care. She's copacetic with all of this. And he says, cool, when do you want to move in? And she, oh my God, Trace, this is another red flag. Maybe for Patrick.
Yeah,
she says, I have my suitcase in the cab, which she has left waiting outside.
Well, because the thing is, and she is desperate. You know, we don't really quite know this yet, but she is under suspicion for the murder of her mother, rightfully so, and she fled to LA. Now, granted, how she was allowed to leave the city, like what is the status of the police investigation on her mother's death? Like, how long do we know how long ago the mother was killed, or is this like a day later? Oh, 6 months. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So we don't know why it took 6 months for her to make this decision. You know, we'll discover eventually that there is a family house that she could get the keys to, but it is very derelict your balls and run down. She also has a brother named Fred who is in a psychiatric institute, and that's the main reason she's come, is she wants to talk to Fred. But the other weird thing is that she will repeatedly offer Patrick money. Like, money is not an issue for Holly throughout this entire thing. And part of me was like, girl, why don't you just get your own place?
I was like, yeah, go stay at a hotel. Like, fuck it. Like, go stay at the Beverly Ritz, whatever the fuck. I don't know.
I mean, the answer is, if we did that, we didn't have a movie. So it makes sense because she needs somebody there to be monitoring the fact that she's acting a little weird.
You just make, like, Patrick the Hector Elizondo style bellhop from a Gary Marshall movie.
Oh my God. It's Hellraiser in Manhattan. No.
You're trying to say Made in Manhattan, right?
Yeah, basically.
I don't think that's Gary Marshall, though.
No. Okay, anyway, so she moves right the fuck in, and it's very exciting. But she does have a nightmare this first night. So she's sleeping in the bedroom. It's green. He's sleeping out on the couch. It's red. And
I wrote that in my notes.
You know, she's clearly having some kind of disturbing dream, and he's listening in. So I think is immediately meant to be, oh, he wants to be protective of her. What's her secret? He's going to find out, and so on. But next morning, I will say some of the transitions in this movie quite jarring. It's just like he's awake, listening to her dream, and then all of a sudden, busy cafe, downtown Los Angeles.
Okay, but this is the introduction for, I'm going to say, my favorite character in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Ellie Elizabeth.
The best. I mean, doesn't need to be in this movie, but I don't care.
I mean, I'm happy that she doesn't die because I fully thought at about 5 different points we were going to kill her just to up the body count.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing. But no, she doesn't die, and she doesn't really have much to do in the climax either. No. She's just there to be a foil, kind of, for Patrick, and comment on how stupid everything is. She's basically the audience mouthpiece.
100% that. The thing that I did see in a couple of different reviews, especially for, I think, the critics who didn't love this character as much, people really feel like this is a riff on a kind of screwball comedy character. So she's meant to be the Katharine Hepburn of this film. Like, she speaks at a clip a minute faster than everybody else. She's making all these wisecracks. You know, she's in love with the protagonist, but she's never got a chance. You know, if this was a film noir, she would be the hard-drinking secretary or something.
Yeah, okay.
But so this is played by Leslie Hope, who most people may recognize as the wife of Jack Bauer from 24.
Well, I will say she is plays a pretty prominent role in season 2 of Slasher.
Right.
Would recommend, by the way, especially for her performance.
Right. Yeah. She's an actress that I like, but I never really feel like she gets to do much of anything interesting.
No. Except this movie.
There we go. Yeah. I also wanted to note that if you look, I mean, the movie also gets props for filming in some unconventional Los Angeles locations because even though, yes, a large portion of it does take place in Patrick's apartment, there's a lot of scenes of him out driving around. There's a kind of noir-ish Chinatown vibe in one scene where he goes to an underpass and ends up rolling nearly into an aqueduct or the river or something like that. LA people will get mad at me for that. But I did want to point out that there's also a fuck ton of gays lurking in the background of most crowd scenes. So particularly in this diner, while they're having this introductory conversation, Ellie is Patrick's writing partner and they're just going over ideas and so on. But like, you can see gays in short shorts and crop tops hanging out behind them.
I mean, it's LA. Yeah, sure. I did not
LA.
catch this though, but that's great.
Yeah. So she doesn't like the sound of Holly, mostly because it's very obvious that she is in love with Patrick, but also because he doesn't know anything about the woman he has invited to live with him.
I am a little surprised, though, that Ellie is not a lesbian character.
I think if this movie was made later, she might have been.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Or maybe earlier or later.
Because the big weakness, you're right, is that, yeah, she's so hung up on Patrick and being in love with him, which, again, I'm like, we don't need that element of the plot.
No.
Reducing her to that, which is really her only, like, arc in this movie.
Yeah.
We don't need it. She can just be the best friend.
I think the trouble with that is then people would critique it for, oh, well, you've only really got two prominent female characters, and one of them is just here to, act as a sounding board for Patrick and or get in all of this bullshit about his not great sounding writing.
You're right, but so instead it's all of that plus, she's hung up on Patrick romantically. That's it.
I do agree with you, though. It doesn't really feel like it gets to any point of payoff. So there's a scene late in the film where, it's revealed that she's actually fucking a kind of nemesis of theirs, Rob, who will appear in a later scene at this cafe, and
not die.
It just feels like there could be a romantic comedy version of this movie minus the creatures and the murders.
Yeah. And that's, again, the messiness of this movie coming into play.
There's just a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And simultaneously, not always a lot going on.
Well, that's the thing. When I was, again, watching that producer interview where he was like, yeah, people were like getting restless in the movie. And I was like, I was never getting restless watching this movie, but okay.
I mean, I don't know how you get restless unless you're just not engaged with trying to figure out what the fuck is going on at any given moment. Like, where is this movie going? I must have wrote in my notes, what is happening? Who are these people? Where is this headed?
These people are all, as we'll find out later, Dr. Heller.
Well,
like every character in this movie is Dr. Heller.
It is true, yeah.
Today, I met the love of my life. Her name is Juniper Sumac.
She seemed kind of off to me.
Why would you think that? Tell me.
It's her eyes. They're just so dark. I feel like she was going to eat me or something.
I get that a lot.
Hell really broke the mold. They released her.
And she is everything.
Something's amiss at Juniper's house. Available everywhere this Valentine's Day.
Okay, so at this conversation with Ellie, as we're talking about Holly and how she doesn't like this new roommate situation, we look at the window. And there's Holly, just staring, hey, what are you doing out there? Patrick goes, he says, why don't you come in and meet Ellie? Why don't you come down and have a conversation instead of being a fucking weirdo who's just lurking across the street? But of course, she just disappears.
Yeah, a car drives by, she's gone, makes no sense, moving on to the next scene.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, the other movie that this is kind of giving to me is Cuckoo. And maybe it's just because whenever we see the Holly doppelganger, she's always wearing the headscarf and the sunglasses.
Yeah.
But, even in the nightmares, we start to see teeth and that kind of stuff. Like there's an animal involved. And
yeah.
I kept thinking of Cuckoo and how this would make an unusual double bill as well.
Actually, I think that would make a really good, because I feel like even just like in terms of the plot, like, because Cuckoo goes kind of bananas in those.
It does.
Or goes cuckoo in that final act. I think it makes a bit more sense than what this movie does, but
right.
They're very similar in that regard.
Yeah. I just love this idea that maybe there's more people who saw this movie than we realized. I'm not actually suggesting that. I don't think Cuckoo was inspired by this film. But
you know what? We'll have to go ask that director. Tillman, what's his face or whatever.
Tillman Singer. Yeah. Okay, so after this disappearing act at the restaurant, Patrick goes home and Holly has been cleaning. The entire apartment is spick and span. And he says, so what the fuck is up with your behavior at the restaurant? And she has no idea what he's talking about because she's been cleaning all day long.
Except she does know what he's talking about because she knows, oh, that's my doppelganger.
Yeah, because she then says, hey, do you mind if I pay for a New York phone call? Long distance, don't worry about it. And we hear her calling Dr. Heller. She just, I think, says doctor. And she leaves a voicemail that says, she's back. dark.
Mm-hmm. So I do like that. At least, like, she is aware that she is a doppelganger.
Do you think it's possible? Are we meant to infer that maybe she was in some kind of psychiatric treatment facility for the last 6 months and she's flown the coop?
No, because I feel like if that was the case, then Dr. Hill, well, I was going to say Dr. Hill would have brought her back, but since he's the villain trying to do his own goals.
Right. And also that is what he's kind of trying to do. He wants to get her back to New York under his thumb.
Well, exactly that. So, maybe.
Not enough information, I guess, to
not enough
make...
information.
Yeah. Okay, so that night we get a creeping point of view shot as Holly sneaks up on Patrick while he's writing his screenplay.
I wrote in my notes here too, the score gets so bombastic here. Like,
yes.
The score throughout isn't too intrusive, but there are moments, and this is one of them, where it just blows up. And I really liked it, but I was also like, whoa, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and sometimes there's a choral element, like the part where we're just watching Holly walking around New York before she murders her mother. It's very,
well, it's kind of Candyman-y.
A little Candyman-y, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is revealed to be a faux jump scare. There's nothing scary that happens, and it's mostly Patrick backstory. So he reveals that he is working on a screenplay that he describes as Breakfast at Tiffany's as a horror film. Trace, have you seen Breakfast at Tiffany's?
I have seen Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Okay, I have not. I was generally familiar with the plot, but I'm fine. Like, it's not really high on my list. I don't love the racism, so.
The racism is whatever. I mean, I can chalk that up to, it was the 60s, even though it was bad. Yeah. But I'm in the mind. I really don't like the Holly Golightly character. Like, I find her...
don't know that you're meant to. It feels to me like a Holden Caulfield situation where people idolize characters, but they kind of miss the point.
Yeah, and it's a thing where, I mean, I watched this in college because I was going through a Truman Capote phase, and
sure,
I loved Audrey Hepburn because I had Wait Until Dark, I had Charade, I had maybe some of her lesser known movies like that, right. But so I was really excited because I heard and I had a friend who it was her favorite movie of all time, and I was like, okay I'm really excited. I didn't like it. Maybe if I watch it now, I'll appreciate it more as like, she's like not a likable character, but I can still like the movie, but. Yeah, when I was 20, I was just like, she is abhorrent.
I do not like her. Yeah. I mean, I do kind of like the idea because, folks, spoiler alert, this movie fancies itself Breakfast at Tiffany's as a horror film. So
it absolutely does.
It's a self-referential kind of meta-commentary. So if you look at both films, we've got a girl who runs away from her problems. There's a cat in the mix. A person wakes up alone after a night of intimacy. There's a trash department. There's a man from our heroine's past, and so on.
Yeah, just a little tropey, but yes.
Yeah. So Patrick does explain that the reason he came to Los Angeles and he fancies himself a screenwriter is because he did win a short fiction story contest. So he's a prize winner and he's got the kind of magazine to prove it. But he always thought that he would be the next Truman Capote, to which I put in my notes, so gay?
He does come across as a little gay in this movie.
He comes across as a little gay. And I couldn't help but wonder if that was part of, I'm not really sensing an actual romantic interest. Like, he's going after this woman who is unattainable because she's so fucked up. She's dealing with her own issues. He's got Ellie, who clearly wants to fuck him like nobody's business, doesn't have the time of day for her.
Yeah.
I mean, we do learn that they tried it and it didn't work. So it could just be, you're desperate. You're the kind of thirsty ex, but I'm not interested in revisiting that.
And I don't know how much older the Leslie Hope character is meant to be than the Patrick character, but like...
I don't think she is.
Oh, well, she presents
it's
older.
The hair.
You're the hair in the suit, yeah.
But I mean, she seems much more wise than him. Like, she kind of has her shit together and he's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, he's very naive.
Very naive, which is like, son, you are not going to make it in Hollywood. You need to be more cutthroat.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so anyway, Holly asks Patrick if he will drive her to her old house because she has a meeting with the family lawyer, Mr. Wallace, who is played by George Maharis. And upon leaving the house, this is where we get the first instance that Holly has more to her than we first imagined. Like, she's actually capable of taking care of herself because she gets catcalled by Hard Hat, who is played by Danny Trejo.
I will say, Thanksgiving 2024, Danny Trejo was on the Drew Barrymore show, and you can go watch or listen to a clip of them talking about her kicking him in the nuts in this movie.
Right. And you mentioned that there's not much more information to it, right? Like, they don't really talk about this movie.
No. I mean, like, it's like a 6-minute segment, and they're just kind of talking about stuff, and this maybe gets a minute of conversation time.
Which... now that we know that she doesn't like this movie and walked out of the cast and crew premiere, maybe that explains it.
Maybe so. But yeah, I really loved hearing her say, I'd like to see you try it, fuckface.
Yeah,
just flicks
after
him off.
kneeing him in the balls. And that is your Danny Trejo content for this film.
He's saying, like, like she says, you wouldn't want someone saying that to your sister. And he's like, well, my sister wouldn't be dressing like such a whore or something like that. And I'm like, she's wearing like a dress with, I want to say in this moment, white tights.
I can't recall if she is wearing tights, but the skirt is short, and when she kind of bends over to start to get into the car, it is a little revealing. I mean, again, this is Drew Barrymore's wardrobe. This is how she was dressing at the time. I'm not suggesting she deserved to be sexually harassed. It's just more like the movie presents her as highly sexualized.
Yeah, but I think, and again, this is a failing of the movie. Like, because we do know by the end that she does go back and forth between good Holly and bad Holly personalities.
Right.
There are times when she is bad Holly in this movie. And yes. I don't think that there's a good enough distinguishing, like, I guess in her performance there is sometimes, but not in her clothes or her outfits.
No, and I wonder if it's just meant to be, okay, well, my personality is slightly more murderous or maybe more protective when I'm bad Holly, but good Holly and bad Holly share the same sense of fashion. Like, we're not that diametrically opposed.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I will agree, it feels more like a narrative strategy to try to keep the audience guessing as to when is she good Holly versus when is she bad Holly, and also to preserve the twist of, okay, so is it DID or we say multiple personality disorder in this film because it was 1993.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels more like a narrative contrivance.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to the house, and this is where we are introduced to Mr. Wallace. He shows up for a hot second in this film. It's basically just to confirm that she is getting a monthly allowance, so the money is back, and also that this house could be hers, but it is chained up. And she's about to go in, but when Patrick notices that there's a woman who's up in the window, he mentions that, and all of a sudden, Holly's like, no, we gotta leave. We're not even gonna go in. And initially, you think this doesn't make any sense.
Well, because it's clear that this is Drew Barrymore standing up there. So you're like, okay, well, cool. So there is a doppelganger. There is, and whether it's from her body that they split up, which we'll get to later, or if it's someone pretending to be her, which is also the case. Like,
it's Mr. Heller. Yeah.
Yes. Either way, there's another corporeal version of her out there doing these things.
Yeah, that other people are seeing, right? Like, she could have been lying about showing up at the diner earlier when he was meeting with Ellie. She could have said, oh no, I was home the whole time, and that could have been her. But here, it's very clearly Holly is standing next to me, and then there's a woman who looks identical to her up in that window.
Yeah, and of course, as soon as Patrick says, oh, well, there's someone up in that window, she freaks out, and she's like, oh, I'm starving all of a sudden. Let's go eat.
Yeah.
We don't have to go inside. Blah, 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 blah.
We gotta go. Yeah. Okay, so that night in the shower.
Oh, my God.
Yes, here we go. So Holly has a kind of memory of a creature running through the forest or something. There's some growling on the soundtrack, and then the water turns to blood. And yes, folks, this is the scene that gets excised in some foreign editions because underage boobs.
Yeah, 17-year-old boobs. Apparently, they did wait to film this scene until like the day after her 17th birthday.
Ew.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
The weird thing is that it's so unnecessary. Like, so much of the rest of the film, it's not really highly sexual. Like I mentioned, the character is sexualized, but it's not as if she's having graphic sex scenes. The sex scenes she has with Patrick are almost exclusively off screen. Like we kind of get a hint of it, but then we don't show anything. It's not like we see her riding him. So this moment where the blood is coming down from the shower onto her, we could have just had it on her face and her shoulders. We didn't need the tits.
Yeah, I was really surprised because I mean, and again, this scene isn't entirely necessary in the movie.
No.
Like, even if you didn't have her boobs in it, except, like, she does look in the mirror and she sees a reflection of what will be the monster doppelganger at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do think it looks cool. Like, I do think, like, all this blood, like, washing down her looks really cool.
The blood on her naked body is like, yeah, that is a cool horror shot. It's just, you could have filmed the strategic, like, you could have even filmed it from the back and just done upper butt and back.
Yeah, but because, you know, you mentioned, oh, this is giving, you know, Dario Argento and Brian DePalma, because I agree, there was a lot of dress to kill in this movie, but by extension, isn't there also a lot of Hitchcock? Yeah, Psycho in this movie.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so she gets out of the shower and the Santa Ana winds are blowing. Of course, Patrick has to explain it to her, even though she told him she has lived in Los Angeles before. But okay, Patrick.
How about this tree branch that's really getting to work out outside this window?
I mean, yeah, okay, so the storms are raging. There's a tree branch outside the kitchen window that's really going at it. And that's before Patrick and Holly start to go at it. You know, she gets a nosebleed. He touches her up. All of a sudden we're kissing, all of a sudden we're fucking on the kitchen floor, but we are being blocked, strategically framed. But I love that, you know, well, if you can't show intercourse with the 17-year-old actress, why not just have a tree branch ram through the glass window? Because, you know, nothing says a good penetration like that.
Which, admittedly, I mean, like, I would have been a little uncomfortable as George Newbern having to even, like, simulate pre-sex with a 17-year-old girl. And I checked, he's about 11 years her senior.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's a pretty significant age gap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we cut to the next morning, and Patrick is still on the kitchen floor. He's got a blanket on him, but he is solo, so she's gone. He's also got a bite on his shoulder, suggesting the sex got a little bit rough.
Yeah, but we'll never know.
We'll never know. He goes into the bedroom to find that Holly is just kind of hanging out with her music box. She's got a picture of a young blonde-haired man who we will come to know as her brother Fred, but she's very defensive, verging on angry. So she doesn't want him to look at the music box. It's something she got from her dad, closes that. She'll talk a little bit about Fred, but we'll get more exposition as we go. But then when he's like, so about last night, she immediately shuts this shit down. She did not sleep with him. That's her doppelganger, and she is dangerous and he needs to watch out.
Like, and the way this is delivered, it's very stupid. So
it seems like she is remorseful and she just doesn't want to accept that they had sex. At least I think that's how we're meant to take it from Patrick's position.
Yeah, but it's a thing. Okay, because at this point, we're like, okay, but the doppelganger is a separate entity. Now, we will learn by the end of the movie that no, she did have sex with him, but it was bad. It was the bad personality, bad Holly having sex with him. But like, she gets so defensive and angry at him for this. And I'm like, you can't be mad at him for this. Like, he didn't know any of this about you. But so
I feel like you can be mad to the point that you slept with someone without actually figuring out who they are or what some of their issues are. But yes, I mean, this is very much Holly, you can't be too mad at him. I guess from her perspective, she wasn't in control when her body had sex.
Right, but he also wasn't aware that it wasn't her, which I guess maybe is... But either way, so she just screams, she's my doppelganger. Do you know what that is? You don't believe me, do you? You think I'm wacko. And I'm just like, we're just saying doppelganger. Okay.
Yeah. But also, like, girl, it just came out of nowhere. Like, he came in to check on you after a night of intimacy, and you go off on him as, like, you've never mentioned a doppelganger before. She did for No, That Wasn't Me outside of the diner.
And the movie actually doesn't have any interest in asking the question, well, actually, how does Patrick feel about this? Because then the person he thought he had sex with last night wasn't the person he thought he had sex with.
Yeah, I mean, this is very early 90s kind of approach to this, where Patrick's just like, good thing she's hot. Man, I still want to fuck her. She cray-cray. That makes the sex hotter. Look at this bite on my shoulder.
Either way, he is reeled in, hook, line, and sinker. He is devoted to Holly for the rest of this movie.
100%, yes. Which the movie requires to a certain degree, right? We need someone to help ground her as she starts to spin out of control.
100%.
Okay, so he goes to meet Ellie back at the diner, and she's there working on their long in the works, and I wrote possibly gay ? Interracial buddy cop vampire story.
Oh, vampire love story.
There we go. Yes, I think that's why I put gay ?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to read it. I would like to see it.
I really do. Okay, this because this in this scene, we get this buddy cop interracial vampire love story bit in this scene, and then we also get the introduction of a character who we will not meet until way later in Sister Jan, a former nun and Catholic school teacher who runs a phone sex operation, who is good friends with Ellie and might be useful for Patrick later.
Yes. I mean, as soon as you dangle that kind of character, you know she's going to appear, in the same way that when we go to the house and we don't go inside, you think, okay, we'll see you, third act.
Yes. And granted, though, I would have taken 5 more scenes of Sister Jan. Just going to say that right now.
Oh, Sister Jan is amazing, to the point that I can't believe we didn't find a way to use her more thoroughly, or at least her workforce, where we just walk in and all of these women are just casually manning cubicles with telephones talking about how nude they are and how turned on they are.
Yes, I'm so attracted right now.
I love it. I did see a number of people say, oh yeah, the depiction of phone sex work is very early 90s as well. And I couldn't figure out if that was a negative or a positive. I'm choosing to take it positive.
I'm going to say positive. I'm going to say it's accurate.
Because here's the thing. Jan is a self-made woman who has a background in religion. This movie skirts weirdly around the religious aspects, though, doesn't it? Like, there are crosses everywhere throughout this movie, and we never comment on anyone's religion.
Well, and we get a crucifixion in a nightmare sequence.
P.S. That's the other scene that often gets edited out in the UK and Australian versions.
Because it's like blasphemous?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's not necessary, but yeah, I found it baffling.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so Ellie name drops this, and we all go, okay, sure, we'll come back to Sister Jan later. And then this is our introduction to Douchey Rob, who is played by Peter Dobson. He is there with rich producer Larry, who is played by Carl Bressler. And it's essentially one of those things where, okay, kids, if you want to play the Hollywood screenwriter game, you need to cozy up to the money. So we don't like Rob because he's doing that, and it seems like he's a bit of a sellout, but also he clearly wants to fuck Ellie, and Ellie only wants to fuck Patrick.
Yep, but she knows to use Rob against Patrick.
This is true, yeah. We also learned that Rich Larry is having a party this evening, so let's make sure that we all get an invite.
Yes. Oh, actually, I didn't realize the crucifixion scene is next.
Yeah, so Patrick comes home. He finds that the apartment has been ransacked. There's a trail of blood. You think something terrible has happened. And he finds Holly crucified to the wall. And then the doppelganger comes in and stabs him. But, ooh, psych. It's a nightmare sequence.
And like, because whenever Holly was moving in, we really did, like, we spent time showing her nailing her own crucifix to the wall. So again, It's like, oh, she is religious, but yeah, you're right. It never really comes to anything. Like, it doesn't play an actual part in her characterization.
Yeah, and folks, if you feel like we're missing something really obvious, like there is a religious reading to this film, I would like to know, because I did think about it a little bit, but also it's an area of the film that no one ever comments on.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wakes up from this nightmare, and Holly is kind of putzing around the apartment, but she notices that he's giving her a bit of a wide berth. So she calls him out on being freaked out. She offers him her prescription medication, which once again confirms that, okay, she's on meds. So in 1990s term, this is, she's insane.
I would say, like, the portrayal and depiction of mental health in early 90s, especially early 90s genre films, is never going to be good.
Yeah, like if you're going to a therapist, it probably means that you're fucked up. And if you're on meds, it means that you are psychotic. Yeah, what a great time to be alive. So she does want him to drive her again, though. So she offers to pay him if he will take her to go and see her brother the next day. He says, you know what, it's fine. I'm happy to do this kind of thing for you. But then we decide, well, why don't we go to the party tonight? You can bring me along. So this is what we do. I love a party scene, especially an LA party scene in the early 90s. The costumes are wild. There's just a bunch of like maybe 20 people dancing to R&B music. This is what the Amazon Prime subtitles told me. And it is awkward as fuck.
This feels like satire, although I don't know if it is.
It is absolutely not.
But there's something really funny about seeing a bunch of adults in business attire at a house party dancing in the middle of this apartment.
Yeah, like the gist is that Larry throws these fancy parties and, movers and shakers show up so that you can network and wine and dine. Of course, Larry's a pig. He wants to fuck Ellie. Rob is there. He wants to fuck Ellie. But also, have a good time. There's a bar and the music is pumping. So Holly ultimately ends up taking Patrick out for a spin and things are okay, but she starts to get kind of turned on by the R&B music. She wants to grind with him a little bit, and he's not down for it. So he takes a time out, and she just keeps dancing by herself, and it's more or less an excuse for the film to objectify her body because she's just sort of gyrating around. Trace, did you catch the name of the producer who offers Patrick a job here? So this will eventually be revealed to be Dr. Heller in one of his many costumes, but Richard Wolff?
Yeah, so this is obviously Dick Wolf, which is the name of an actual American television producer, best known for producing the Law and Order franchise.
Like, you questioned, is this satire? And I was like, Dick Wolf?
Yep.
Richard Wolf?
Yep.
Richard
Yeah.
Wolf?
No,
what are we doing?
But again, why? I don't really care personally. Like, whatever, it's fine. Like, I mean, if you don't know who Dick Wolf is, that's fine.
It's a joke that doesn't matter if you don't get it. But between this and The Breakfast at Tiffany's, this movie does have a sense of self-awareness, does it?
It does.
Not?
It absolutely does. And again, though, it's like on a scene-to-scene basis, can you tell how self-aware it is?
No, I cannot.
And for some people, that's a failure. For me, I'm like, that makes it a very interesting and exciting viewing experience.
Hello, we're having the best of times right now. Okay, so the evening comes to an abrupt end, at least for Patrick and Holly, because she has a big old freak out when a woman has a drink spilled on her, and this sends her flashing back to her mother's murder, so we need to get the fuck out of there, because screaming...
This is pretty great, though. Like, the way the woman morphs into Holly's mother. Like, it's a pretty fun effect. I mean, again, very 90s, but yeah.
Yeah. It's serving Wishmaster.
Yes, it is. Oh my God. And this predates Wishmaster.
There we go. You know what? Wishmaster. Pay residuals to Doppelganger.
I was actually going to go there because Wishmaster is a K&B production because Robert Kurtzman, the K of K&B, directed Wishmaster.
Right. Okay. So maybe we just picked up a thing or two from a party scene and then
possible.
Put it into Wishmaster.
Yeah. Actually, maybe K&B did do that effect, actually.
It's possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're talking about Wishmaster, right? Because they definitely do the effects in this film.
Well, I know they do the monster effects, but like the morphing effect of the mom.
Oh, the morphing effect. Got it. Yeah. Yes, quite possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so the next day, let's go to the psychiatric facility, aka the asylum. So Holly explains en route that her brother Fred has been accused of murdering their father by pushing him out a window. But she suspects that her brother is innocent and that it was his doppelganger who did this.
So yeah, she says this. She goes, Holly's brother's accused of killing her father. She was up in her bedroom, heard Fred and her father arguing. She came down. Her father hit Fred. Her father was very strict. But she says, I knew it wasn't Fred. I knew it was the other one. And so, yes, I'm glad that you pointed out, yes, his doppelganger, because that is never brought up again.
Well, it means, hello, let's remake this movie and or give it a legacy sequel, bring Drew back, give her better creative control, but also, couldn't we do a backstory where this is a hereditary trait? Like, she and her brother both had the ability to do this.
We absolutely could. And that's honestly, when at this mention, I thought that's what we were going to be doing. Like, multiple people in this family have doppelgangers, which would also explain the father,
Yeah, because the other curiosity about these events is that the father's body was never discovered. So we pushed him out the window and the house apparently backed onto a cliff. So when the body went out, it was like, never discovered.
It's not even a cliff, it's a hill. So I just had this image of this man just rolling down a hill, Looney Tunes style.
Oh my God. Whereas I went for Princess Bride, but yes, same idea.
Yep, same idea. Exactly. And but he just never found, which again is also a mystery that never gets resolved since...
I would argue that this is maybe one of my least favorite aspects of the plot. I think at the end of the day, you can blame everything on Dr. Heller if it doesn't fully make sense. It's like, it was just him in a costume. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it.
He took the body, because we don't really know how he makes these really elaborate costumes and disguise. I mean, this is full like Mission Impossible mass territory, but like But again, like he takes their body shape too, like popcorn, and so you're like, what are we doing here?
And Popcorn showed us how these are being made in a kind of cutie little bath thing. Dr. Heller, I'm sorry, what's your background in makeup prosthetics?
But I wonder if he has to take if these are all of his disguises were at one point real people, because he has to take the father's body to take the face off. But then I'm asking, well, then how did he get Drew Barrymore's face, you know?
Well, and even to the effect of, what, he's been stalking this family since she was a child? No.
I guess.
it just, there are certain parts of this film that do not add up.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Hey, I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And we're the co-hosts of the podcast Guide to the Unknown.
One of our favorite recurring episode topics is going through the Wikipedia page for urban legends, A to Z, and covering everything.
So that means some episodes are a mishmash of alien abduction stories, actual urban legends like the Hook Man, and then maybe a made-up game of telephone story about Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight. Who knows?
All this and so much more is waiting for you if you go check out the Guide to the Unknown podcast feed. See you there.
Okay, so we're at the asylum. We get this exposition about the backstory, and then we go in. Patrick actually, for once, reads the room correctly, so he distracts this male orderly so that Holly can actually just have the room with her brother, who we learn has not spoken in 4 years.
So since the incident.
Yeah. And we shut the door so that Holly can have a private conversation with him. And she explains that her doppelganger has appeared and it is ruining her life. And the reaction is Fred seems to come alive. He starts to cry. I think they share a half hug or something, like a family connection.
Yeah. And again, I do think Drew Barrymore is good in this movie. I mean, I think I don't think she was always being directed.
No.
But she's doing what she can, because Drew Barrymore is a good actress.
Yeah. Okay, so I have used the word curiosity numerous times in this recording, Trace.
Mm-hmm.
Real life mystery here. Fred, this is not Dr. Heller in a costume, right? Like, this isn't the same actor as the one who plays Dr. Heller, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is her brother. This is who this is.
Okay, so the reason I haven't told you this actor's name is because he doesn't appear in the end credits of this film on Wikipedia or IMDb. This actor doesn't exist.
What?
I literally cannot tell you who this person is, and it's like he's been wiped out of existence in relationship to this film.
I was gonna say, like, oh, that might make sense because he doesn't have any dialogue, but he does say, like, a word whenever the doppelganger's stabbing him.
Yeah, like, it would make sense if we only saw him in pictures and we were just using somebody's likeness but no dialogue or something, but you're right, he gets lines, he's here on screen, and we kind of see him get murdered, albeit not really, but there's a human body who plays this character, and the film doesn't acknowledge it.
I was going to say, he definitely does not die.
Well, no, right? It's so curious. It doesn't make any sense, and I was baffled. I was actually hoping you were going to say, no, this is just Dr. Heller.
No, I don't think so. No, it doesn't make any sense because, because it is Dr. Heller who does stab him. It's not Drew Barrymore's bad side.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, maybe this is Dr. Heller under makeup, and Fred is not actually here, but it doesn't make sense with the later attack.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Anyway, it's a mystery. Again, if anybody has any information, let me know, because I'm super curious. Okay, so that night, Patrick and Holly are back at the apartment. He gets a strange message, and he goes to another nearby resident. They live in an
apartment block.
Yeah, and there's a shared communal space with pigeons and some really nice foliage.
It's like Melrose Place.
It's a little Melrose Place. It's a little Mulholland Drive.
Oh, yeah.
And so he goes to this other neighbor's house, and this person introduces himself by one name. We will very quickly come to realize that it's a secret FBI agent named Stanley White, who is played by Dan Shore. And this guy just absolutely goes off on Patrick.
I wrote in my notes, this guy is acting in all capitals.
It's terrible. I've definitely seen a couple of reviews that said this is nearly unwatchable because this man's performance is so bad.
Oh, I beg to differ. This scene is one of the most watchable scenes in this movie because this guy is so bad. Like
the camp effect is off the charts.
Like he's basically like explaining, oh, Holly's bad, blah, blah, blah. We know that she's coming for the brother. And I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Yes. Yeah, because the suggestion is that she killed her mother because they were both getting paid out of the same family account. So if you start to take out the other family members, your piece of the pot will get bigger. So the monthly allowances will get larger. You inherit the whole family fortune. And this guy's like, you need to tell me, are you fucking her?
Oh man, no, are you doing her? What? Are you fucking her? Like, he is just yelling the volume levels with which she works through this scene. I mean, and here's the thing. Because we will learn later that this is Dr. Heller.
Yes. Yep. There is no FBI agent White.
So, okay, that kind of makes sense. You know, he's putting on a performance. He's probably embellishing a little bit. Whatever.
It's extra. I mean, he's slapping Patrick around. It's so entertaining.
I mean, this scene is Oscar worthy, but it's so good. But like, okay, in the logic of the film,
right?
So Dr. Heller is trying to get Patrick away from her at this point, right? Like, leave so I can have her to myself. Okay.
He wants Holly isolated,
right? But of course, at the end, that's not the case because that's the other thing. He says, you know, oh, I'm going to have Holly kill you. She's going to go to prison, but she's going to plead insanity, and then she'll be in a room that I can take her in. I'll be able to like watch her.
Right. Okay. So maybe what it is he's trying to make Patrick paranoid because that is what happens in the successive scene. You know, Patrick goes back to the apartment that he and Holly live in, and she has made dinner, and he is kind of terrified of her, like to the point that he doesn't trust her to cut bread.
But what I'm saying is, though, why isn't Dr. Heller just dressed up as Drew Barrymore at this point? Kill him here and then continue his plan.
Questions?
Exactly. There's no reason.
He's got to drag it out, I guess.
Yeah, but the movie has to drag it out.
The movie has to drag
logic.
it out. Yeah. Yeah, this is where we're introducing multiple personality disorder. So the suggestion that Holly can be multiple things at different times.
Yes, because this is the first time we hear of split personalities in this movie.
Yeah. Which is also wild because we just talked about DID when we talked about Split. Last month.
Man, we did not plan this. We did not plan this.
Here's the thing, we didn't know because neither one of us had seen this movie. Here's the other thing. This movie connects to everything. This is the Kevin Bacon of movies for us.
6 Degrees of Doppelganger.
Yeah, it all comes back to Doppelganger. I need to own this movie.
Hey, you scratch my back, I'll lick your balls.
Oh my God, why? Here's the thing. There's so many weird little gay references in this movie. It's not just gay extras lurking in the background. It's not just Truman Capote and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Like, these are specific choices that we're making. Why is Dr. Heller encouraging someone to lick his balls in costume?
It's like a power play, I guess. I don't know. But that's going back to the beginning of the recording when I said, look, the end of this movie is wild, but it is not just the ending that is like, there are so many just filmmaking choices that are made in the first 90 minutes of this movie where I'm like, I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah,
but
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm totally here for it.
Absolutely. Okay, so Patrick has this very uncomfortable dinner with Holly, and at the end of it, he does not feel reassured by her. So he does actually want to leave the apartment, and she says, what about this pussy? So,
but this is also when he asked her, like, he's like, did you blame yourself when your parents died? And she kind of like pauses and he goes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. And I'm like, you didn't mean to upset her when you asked her if she blamed herself when her parents died?
Yeah, it's a little bit thoughtless. It's not the most sensitively posed question. I think that Barrymore is also very good in this scene, right? Where she says, yeah, you know, I did blame myself, but then I realized I'm a good person. And I was like, oh, look at this nuanced kind of emotional little bit of character work in this movie where weird shit just keeps happening. Anyway, yeah, so she fucks him in the green bedroom and she promises that she won't deny it in the morning. And she doesn't, but she also does look like a complete fucking psycho because when he wakes up, she's just watching him.
Yeah.
It made me uncomfortable and I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this could have gone on. You know, she reassures him that she had a good time. So yay, everything was consensual. She's actually acknowledging the sex this time. But this gets interrupted, traced by the arrival of a gas man who was played by People Under the Stairs' Sean Whalen.
Okay, this put together so many clues for me, because if you remember, Sean Whalen is in Never Been Kissed. He's like her little assistant guy, and I was like, oh, like, and so I'm like, oh, they met on this movie, even though she's in the other room technically, but like they don't share the screen together at any point. They do not.
Movie. No, but it's the 6 degrees of Doppelganger coming back, baby.
It really is. But shocker, we will learn later that this gas man, Sean Whalen, is also Dr. Heller.
Yeah. Okay, so answer me this. Riddle me fucking this, just to bring in another Drew Barrymore title that we've covered. Why do this? Okay. Is this so that he can plant the knife?
No, he's not planting. He's not planting the knife. He's taking the knife, because
taking the knife.
He walks in and he tells Patrick, he's like, "Oh, I'll let myself out, whatever." And Patrick just lets the stranger be alone in his kitchen. He leaves. Whatever.
I mean, here's the thing: we will judge, but the number of people who have like gotten murdered by folks posing as delivery men, servicemen, and so on, it does happen.
I believe it, which is why Patrick shouldn't be leaving this guy alone in his kitchen. But either way, so Sean Whalen comes in for this 60-second bit, and before the scene cuts, he's looking at the knife on the counter, and he's like he rubs his finger down it. And I wrote in my notes, he touches the butcher knife really creepily, and I was like, okay. But then it seemed like this was a one-off, right? Like what? This character doesn't come back.
Nope.
So that makes sense. You know, he's using it to take the knife to go stab Fred later. But here's the thing.
Yes.
Richard Wolff, quote unquote, Dr. Heller.
Please use his correct name. Dick Wolff, executive producer of Law and Order,
He calls Patrick to meet him for like some writers' meeting, talk about something. And this is, of course, Dr. Heller calling Patrick to get him out of the apartment. Well, then we see the doppelganger. Again, I want to say it's like a black glove figure, so it's very giallo-y. Going into the apartment to take the butcher knife. So then I'm like, okay. So he didn't grab the butcher knife when he was the gas man, Sean Whalen. So then back to your question, why is he the gas man, Sean Whalen? Why is this scene here?
Could it be that he was trying to get the knife, but he couldn't because Patrick followed him into the kitchen?
Maybe, but he looks at the butcher knife after Patrick walks away.
I don't know. This feels like a continuity error. Like something didn't quite align in these scenes.
Well, it's you either remove this scene and you have the later where Dick Wolff calls in, gets him out of the apartment, he goes in, steals the knife, bam, done deal. Yeah. Or you keep the gas man scene and delete the scene where the doppelganger goes back into the apartment and takes the knife.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I fully didn't even have it in my notes that the doppelganger comes back in because I was too busy thinking about the other sequence, which, we're kind of cross-cutting. So Patrick and Ellie go to the diner so that they can keep working on stuff. But they're doing that, like waiting for Dick Wolff, we've got the doppelganger sneaking in to the hospital.
Oh my God.
Trying to get in to see Fred. And this night nurse being like, "No, sweetie, you can't. Oh, you've got a flight to New York at 7 a.m.? Sucks to be you."
This is the worst acting in the movie for me, is this night nurse.
I love this woman.
Oh, she's great, but I was like, oh, you're reading from a script. Like, you're reading a cue card right now. Like, it's very obvious. And
I am sorry, ma'am. You cannot.
It's like a bad porno. But I love, because this is, again, meant to be Dr. Heller in Drew Barrymore garb. And this is the only time we get to hear the doppelganger Dr. Heller version speak.
Yep.
And I'm here to see my brother Fred.
Is so good. It's like, oh, I'm comfortable enough with my sexuality and, my desire to profit off of this family inheritance that I'm going to dress up like Holly, but I will not do a female affectation. I refuse to stoop that low.
Not at all. And she has to hand her money. Oh, well, at least I know my brother's in good hands. Excuse
here's
me.
What's also funny. This is clearly Drew Barrymore doing a deeper voice. So we're just having fun. It's so good. It's so good. And also, I just love this as a bit of a tense scene because Fred is going to get it. Like, this doppelganger is going to get into that room no matter what. So I love that we've got this, how is she going to get around it?
Okay.
And, she basically just sneaks around the side of the building, finds a way in, and then
She finds a way in. Yeah. She has a butcher knife. She has the butcher knife, but she also has what looks to be like a meat carver that she uses to cut a semicircle around the doorknob.
Oh, no, it's not a meat carver. This is like a full-on I went to the home repair shop and I got this piece of equipment.
And I was like, where were you hiding this in your trench coat? Like, what?
It was like plan B activated. If I can't smooth talk my way in by posing as Holly, I guess I'm going to have to do it the old fashioned cat burglar way.
And was it battery operated? Like, doesn't she need to plug this thing in?
I don't know. I mean, I think it would have been more convincing to have just had her do the, jewel thief where you just cut out a piece around the handle in the glass and you punch it out and then you just open the window or something. Like, that would have looked more elegant because this is like, what, just stop off at a lesbian's place so that you could grab all of her equipment?
It's so good. But Joe, she comes in. And I actually love the way this is shot because she just stabs this guy so many times. He wakes up. He does speak. Mm-hmm. We will find out scenes later that he survived this stabbing attack because she missed like every artery in him. And I was like, she stabbed him
a bazillion
many times. Also, not lightly. These were hard stabs.
No, she did not Holly go lightly on him.
Oh my God, that's the episode subtitle, Holly Go Lightly.
No, like this guy is dead. I was 100% convinced he was dead. And then there's just this one little line of dialogue. Oh no, don't worry, he'll survive.
Yeah.
What?
He's fine. And we never see him again.
No. You know why? It's because we didn't know who this person was.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even want to credit them.
This person doesn't exist. This is not a real person.
No. It's wild. But yeah. Okay. So Patrick comes home after being stood up by Dick fucking Wolf at the diner, and we've got police and EMTs all over the apartment complex. And that's because Detective Pouget, who appears in, I want to say 2 scenes in this movie.
Acting with capital letters, by the way.
I mean, the supporting cast of this movie, they all went to community theater and they will project to the back of the auditorium.
Oh my God, yes, that's 100% what this is. It's like you had a bunch of stage actors.
Yeah. We didn't know how to modulate the performance for a camera that is only a couple of feet away and the boom mic that is directly above our heads. Anyway, this actress is Serena C. Grant. She's fine. I mean, the character is nothing. It's a minor obstacle.
The problem is she's talking very loudly in this, again, this capital A acting piece.
Yes.
But it's also because there's so many other extras in the scene that are talking over her. So she's trying to talk over them. And I'm like, just have
Can we get quiet on the set,
yeah,
please?
Absolutely. Quiet on set.
Like, I know that you all want to get your SAG cards, but technically these aren't lines of dialogue. We're not going to be recognizing you. You're fucked. So yeah, we are arresting and also sedating Holly. We've got her on a fucking gurney. We're injecting her with shit. It's like, oh yeah, because she definitely killed her brother. Like the line of dialogue, did you happen to catch this?
Which one?
Okay, so Detective Pouget goes, yes, Fred Gooding was killed by Mrs. Gooding, who is the sister of Good. Like, it's 3 Goodings in a row.
Yeah.
It's a terrible line of dialogue.
I did not catch that, but yeah, that is, oh boy. Yeah, maybe that's the ADR that producer was saying they needed to fix.
Right. Could we just cut out that? Because the audience is not having it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we load Holly up into the ambulance, and the ambulance driver is revealed to actually be her father. He's got a scar. He's played by Thomas Bosak. And don't worry, this is just another nightmare.
I was like, it's a dream, right? But
yeah.
or is it? Or is this Dr. Heller as the father that just goes to the hospital with her?
Well, here's the thing, and you'd be forgiven for being confused because we will see Holly's father later on in the aforementioned Chinatown sequence, but that actually is Dr. Heller.
Yeah, that one. Well,
in daddy face mask.
But that doesn't make any sense because he literally runs into this like underpass and just immediately changes into the father.
Yeah, it's such a question of like, why? What are you hoping to accomplish with it? I guess at this point he is actively trying to kill Patrick.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
fine. Anyway, yeah, so this is a nightmare. We get reassurance by Dr. Heller, who has allegedly flown in from New York. So the actual Dr. Heller Sans mask, this is what he normally looks like, has flown in from New York so that he can tell us Fred will pull through. And this gives Holly the strength to say, I'm going to stop my doppelganger.
Yay!
Okay.
Even though she doesn't really do anything in the climax, but...
Not so much right now, no. We do have Dr. Heller giving us more about MPD, aka DID. You like all those acronyms in a row? It's fine. It feels like, hey, for the audiences who haven't been paying attention, this is what it means. Remember how we talked about how she's not always herself? Sometimes she's other people.
But he is being very approachable with Patrick. He's telling him the God's honest truth.
Sure.
But again, like you would think that he'd be trying to drive more of a wedge between Patrick and Holly. And that's unless he thinks that maybe just his explanation of DID is going to do it.
Maybe, yeah. It's unclear because even when we get the villain monologue from Dr. Heller, he doesn't really explain what his thought process was with all of these little actions. It's very much, oh no, I wanted Holly to kill you and then I'm just going to put her under my care. But even here, that seems to be what he's trying to do, right? Like we see him fighting and we don't get dialogue, but we can see them in the background. It's him and Detective Puget. They're clearly having an argument, and it's clearly Dr. Heller saying, put Holly into my care. I'm going to take her back to New York. And Puget saying, murder suspect, go fuck yourself. This is also when we learn, hey, there's no Agent White of the FBI. So question marks arise.
Question marks arise. Yeah.
So Patrick and Ellie decide we're going to start our own investigation because we're secretly in a Dario Argento film. They go to this guy's apartment because it's the same apartment complex, so they're right there.
Which is weird, right? Because I was confused at first because I was like, wait, they just said they were going to this guy's apartment, but then all of a sudden they're at Holly's apartment in the next scene. But they're all in the same unit.
Yeah, like they're a couple of doors away from each other, which I guess makes sense for Dr. Heller because it allows him to retain more control over the events. But I'm just like, man, I don't know that I'd be pulling off this stuff a couple of feet away from my mark.
But Dr. Heller's, all of his costumes are at Holly's mansion house.
That's a lot of driving. But you know what? LA people, they're all about the drive. They love the freeways.
Yeah, I've heard that lots of times from LA people.
I love getting caught in traffic. Here's the thing. This movie would never exist in the real world because Dr. Heller would just be in traffic all the whole time. No, you don't understand. I need to commit a murder. I need to get my face mask.
I love it.
Okay, so they go into this apartment and it's been mostly cleaned out. We do discover the body of poor Nathan, the cat, who has been strung up.
So the cat then is in, quote unquote, Agent White's apartment, not in Patrick's apartment.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did want to give a shout out because Ellie's kind of backing in the mix with all of this now. And she has a baseball bat that she will carry for parts of this movie. And she calls it a girl's best friend. And I kind of love that.
I love it too.
Because this movie doesn't do guns. It does knives and baseball bats.
Which, honestly, good.
Happy for it. Yeah. So we decide, okay, our roommate / wannabe girlfriend has definitely been accused of murder. It's maybe time to move out of this apartment in case she comes back. So Ellie is forcing Patrick to pack up a bunch of different shit. And this is when she finds the bloody knife.
Okay, she finds the knife and she picks it up.
I know. Yeah. I mean, girl, you're a screenwriter. You're going to learn from this mistake because don't be doing that.
I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Come on, lady. Like, I know how to do that.
Yeah, but do we know it from movies in 1994?
I'm going to say yes. By this point, you should.
Okay, fair enough. This is when Holly and Dr. Heller return to the apartment and they don't want trouble. Dr. Heller's going to take her back to New York, and she says, no, actually, I'm going to stay in the apartment. I don't even care if Patrick is here. I just want to stay. I want to be able to, do my own thing. And Dr. Heller is displeased by this, but he doesn't make a huge fuss, in part because he's obviously fucking shit around on the down low.
So I think then this is when Dr. Heller decides he's going to kill Patrick.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's a good way to get him out of the picture, because it does seem clear that Holly isn't just going to use her free time to catch the doppelganger. She's probably also looking to stay around Patrick.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of the apartment, Patrick and Ellie briefly fight about Holly because he thinks that she is innocent. Ellie is having none of this because, again, Ellie is the audience surrogate and she has a brain on her fucking shoulders. I think she even accuses him of thinking with his dick, which is good to know that line has been around for a couple decades at this point.
No, it's watch your dick, Pinhead. It's permanently lodged in your brain.
I mean, we've not talked about Leslie Hope, but she is so fully capable of delivering this rapid fire dialogue, and her barbs are fantastic.
I was going to say, speaking of cocaine, she sounds like she's on cocaine for most of this movie.
100%. That's why I made the screwball reference, is because it feels like she is delivering dialogue from a completely different genre.
Well, I didn't say this, but in her introduction, before Patrick walks into that cafe, she is like studying the two women in the table next to her and furiously writing notes because she's going to use their dialogue in her movie because she quote unquote couldn't write this kind of dialogue. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I love that. It's a great character introduction where it's like, oh, she's enterprising and also a little bit cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
Girl's going to do what she's got to do. And really, in these moments, we're meant to believe this is Ellie fighting for her man. You know, she's trying to be supportive of him, but also, hey, if you're going to think with your dick, at least look in my direction, not the girl with the knife.
Yeah, well, you know, maybe if Ellie changes her hair, then Patrick will pay attention to her.
Maybe.
I think that's what makes her look so old, is that it's that hair.
It's a shorter haircut, but also, I mean, this is the start of women having shorter hair in Hollywood films in the 90s.
But I think it's also it's short curly hair.
Yeah, I mean, but this is what her hair always looks like. She looks like this all the time.
Well, she looks, it's like, you know, when you call someone Linda, like Linda just seems like a 50-year-old woman.
Oh.
Like, do you know a 20-year-old Linda?
No, but I politely disagree. I think that she looks good in this film.
I mean, I'm not saying she looks, she just looks haggard. She just presents mature. She looks not like she's in her 20s. Like, I would say she's in her 30s in this movie.
Maybe. Okay. I have to say the line because I thought I was quite clever and I was proud of myself, but Ellie being so mad at Patrick in this moment and him so utterly convinced that Holly must be innocent. Why? Just because he's thinking with his dick? So I wrote in my notes, oh, he's at the intersection of white knight and dickmatized.
Yep, that's true.
Okay, so in the morning, Patrick drops Holly off with Ellie and he asks her for a couple of favors. So he wants Ellie to keep an eye out for Holly because he's going to track down Sister Jan, but also because he wants to know where Holly is in case he runs into the doppelganger.
But he's gonna track down Sister Jan because she knows about doppelgangers. That's literally it.
Yeah, we planted that scene earlier and now we need to pay it off. But also in this scene, just to kind of put a capper on Ellie's arc, because really she'll only get a little bit more to do in this movie after this, we do discover that she fucked Rob the night before, and I love her semi-combative line where when Patrick sees that Rob is there, he gives her this look and she goes, well, if I'm a slut, you're a slut.
Okay, so I'm a slut, you're a slut, who wants coffee? And she walks away.
It's great. I don't love it because it does feel like the film is judging this character like, I thought you were so high strung on Patrick and yet here you are dicking down with this douchebag.
I don't get that.
You don't think so?
To me, this is a power play. Like, this is like, oh yeah, look at how fucking like in control of her life. Well, whatever, whatever. But
see, I think it's presenting it as, in a moment of weakness, I went for Rob because I couldn't get you.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, she doesn't seem that embarrassed by it. She's like, whatever, man. Like, I had to do what I had to do.
Fair enough.
But then we have Rob flirting with Holly really creepily when he calls her a handsome woman.
Which, yes, Rob, I thought you had game. Here's the thing. It's not an insult per se, but typically you would use different language.
Like, a handsome woman is Tilda Swinton and Cate Blanchett.
Yeah, like statuesque, but also maybe starting to inch towards a little bit more androgynous.
A little bit, yeah. And again, not unattractive, not a negative thing, but
but not a descriptor for Holly.
No, absolutely not.
Like, Drew Barrymore is pin-up 17-year-old in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Patrick has dropped off Holly with Ellie, and then he goes to visit Sister Jan, who is played by Sally Kellerman. We've talked about how great this scene is. It's a lot of fun.
Do you recognize Sally Kellerman?
No.
She's the bowling like diner rival in Elvira Mistress of the Dark.
Oh, that's fun.
She's also like the concierge or like the room attendant in the Queen Latifah rom-com Last Holiday.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that reference.
Oh my God, you should watch Last Holiday. It's so good. It's so good. One of my favorites. But anyway, Sally Kellerman doing the most with one scene in the...
Yes.
A character who only exists to provide exposition for the wild twist that we will get later in the movie.
Yeah, and basically, I'm not going to tell you everything that she says. The most important takeaway is that love will be the thing that saves the day, will unite the two halves of a doppelganger. So,
well, I do think it's important to point this out, though, because she says the doppelganger, is something that splits away from someone. It was possibly born out of trauma. And so
there we go.
That is something, though, where the DID comes into play, because that's where Holly's other personality came into play.
Right.
To survive the sexual abuse her father was subjecting her to.
I mean, it's so interesting that this movie, I made a twins joke, and it's not that really. At the end of the day, this is proper doppelgangers, but it's also doppelgangers on top of doppelgangers. Like, it's mental doppelgangers because Holly has these multiple personalities, or DID, but then there's also literal monstrous doppelgangers.
Well,
like, that's so fascinating.
And that's why the Sister Jan scene exists, though. The Sister Jan scene introduces the concept of monstrous doppelganger, because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Okay, so Patrick sort of knows what he needs to do now. He doesn't realize how he's going to put it into effect, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
When he gets outside of this sex phone operation...
Well, he sees the doppelganger standing out the window, so he books it.
There we go. Yeah. So, once again, score goes wild.
Choral score! This is the choral bit!
Yeah, so I do love that he starts to give chase, and then he goes, wait a minute, it's 1993, I don't have a cell phone, so he calls Ellie from a payphone just to double check that Holly is there. Okay, we've got a confirmation. She does, in fact, have a physical doppelganger.
Yes, yeah. If you had any doubts, this proves it.
Yeah. So then we go the underpass sequence. This is Holly's father with the scar attacking him. Patrick escapes through a barbed wire fence, and Dad just kind of gives up.
He gets really angry. And so I do think that Heller, because it's Dr. Heller, was trying to kill him in this moment. That was his goal.
Yeah. Okay, so the doppelganger then calls Holly so that we can arrange a meeting at the old family mansion. And we are warned that if Patrick comes, he will be harmed. So she is to come alone.
I did like that, yeah. I won't harm you, but if you bring your friend, I will harm him.
Yeah, which is kind of scary, right? This movie isn't particularly scary. I would say it's more atmospheric and what the fuck, but there's little moments like this.
Would you call this movie campy?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Me too.
Although I will say, I think it's unintentionally campy.
Oh, 100% unintentionally campy. There is self-awareness in this movie, like you said. I don't think that transfers over to the comedy.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously Patrick and Ellie are not going to take no, so they follow Holly to this mansion in the hills. And I do love that Ellie has the wherewithal to say, oh, I'm not coming in. I will give you girl's best friend, but I'm not coming in. This is where my part in the story will more or less end.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is fine. So we've also got the Santa Ana winds kicking back up. So, of course, we're going into the climax. We need another storm brewing. We have at this point seen Holly go into the house. She is dressed in white. The doppelganger is dressed in black.
Subtlety.
It's a metaphor. I don't know if you caught this, Trace. It's layered and very nuanced.
I love it.
Anyway, we sedate Holly, so guess what, folks? She's out for the duration of the climax. She's just gonna sleep through this whole motherfucker.
Drew Barrymore does nothing. She rides around on the couch for a little bit before she turns, but she has nothing to do in this movie for the climax.
No, but she's been doing most of the heavy lifting for the rest of the film, so it's fine.
Patrick has been doing that.
No, Patrick just guides us around.
Sure.
Okay, so Patrick breaks in the upper floor. So he doesn't try to go through the front door. He's trying to be covert and sneaky. So he climbs up, he goes through the second story window, and immediately just discovers this basically costume fitting room, right?
Oh my God.
And it's got outfits and faces for every single one of these supporting characters. So, hey, did you think the dad? Hey, did you think the gas man? Basically, everybody is Dr. Heller.
I actually did really like seeing the Sean Whalen mask. I was like, oh, I know what that one is.
I mean, it's good. If you weren't expecting it, it is surprising. It's a nice little reveal. I could not believe that we were seeing the same thing we talked about from Popcorn.
But literally though, I was like, okay, cool. This must be the wild endings everyone's talking about, because this is pretty unbelievable. Yes. Like, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of cool. And this feels very much like a Giallo type ending.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like we're going to have a bit of a scuffle. Somebody's going to get murdered, and then we'll call it a wrap. And you would be forgiven for thinking that this is near the end, because we're almost there. So Patrick comes out of this room, he comes down the stairs, and he gets attacked. So he falls down the stairs and he injures his leg, but he's fighting for his life because, spoiler alert, everybody, when he gets a hold of this face mask and he rips off the wig, it's been Dr. Heller the whole time. And people have said this is some Scooby-Doo nonsense.
Oh, it's like Mrs. Doubtfire, the climax of that at the restaurant where like part of his mask gets lifted up. Like that's what this looks like. But yeah, Scooby-Doo's probably a better comparison. Now,
it was a run by fruiting.
It's a run by fruiting. Okay, so this is the 87-minute mark of this movie. We still got about 15 minutes left. And so you're like,
which when you pause it and you look, you're like, wait, no, this can't be the climax. And there's so much more to go. How are we going to fill this time?
So, okay. Patrick yells at Dr. Heller, why are you doing this? And let's go through this, Joe.
Here we go. Take me through.
Why am I doing this? Because Holly is the most beautiful thing in the world and she is mine. Okay. He's obsessed with Holly. He maybe genuinely loves her. And she's going to stay mine, even if it means getting her locked away for good. I got a room all picked out. She'll get arrested for your murder, plead insanity, and that will be that. So, okay, she's going to plead insanity. He's going to find a solitary room for her, and he'll be able to just lord over her for the rest of her life while she's locked up.
Sure, yeah. He's gonna, the skin I live in her.
Yes.
Only probably not change her gender.
But. Yeah, probably not. But you're on the right track. Okay, so then, and this is where I got lost. He goes, shit happens. She killed her mother, but the legal system in this country is terminally fucked, which is why I had to go through this laborious masquerade. This is where I was like, wait.
Yeah.
She killed her mother.
Yeah, so this is, Dark Holly killed her mother, presumably, and then he couldn't retain control of her because the legal system is fucked.
Well, so he goes, but this is too fucking precious. You actually bought into this doppelganger bullshit. She killed her mother because I told her to.
Right.
At first, I saw Holly only professionally, and then, well, unprofessionally for several years.
Right. Is this where we start to get the flashback to the beginning scene where we see him essentially like sexually assaulting his patient?
Yes, I think so. And he continues, like, when I found out her mother was looting her trust fund and planning to kill her, I told Holly's other personality she had to defend herself, which she proceeded to do in her own unique, uninhibited way. So...
It's like he didn't quite know that we were going to murder mom, but oops, happy accident.
So basically, yes. So the opening scene, it is Holly in her altered state, the bad side, killing the mother because Dr. Heller hypnotized her or convinced her or whatever to do it. He continues. She's not aware consciously, which is how her father got away with doing his business with her. Okay.
And here's the significant heel turn. Like, I was not expecting this. I don't even know if we need this, but yeah, continue.
Well, so this is explaining, okay, this is where the other personality came from. Her father was molesting her. She developed a split personality. And so the bad personality is what was getting molested by the father. The good personality is completely unaware of this.
Right.
Okay. One day, her brother Freddie walked into her and her old man. That's all he says, but I'm assuming that means he walked on him molesting her.
Yes.
The father chased after the little boy. Somehow, Freddie managed to trip him up and sent him flying through the window. Holly saw the whole thing. She even framed Freddie, but then again, you know how little girls feel about their daddies.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the part that doesn't entirely work for me because you could have just left that out and said Fred got blamed for the murder. Even though we never found the body, he was sent to this institution, which is more or less where the story goes. But this idea that, which half of Holly framed Fred and this suggestion that I guess she was protecting her father because, I think you're about to say it, but the line, you know how little girls feel about their daddies.
I actually just said it, so this is the first time I've ever caught you not listening to me. I love it.
I'll just edit it out.
But either way, no, so I think what we're supposed to take from this is it was the bad Holly that framed Freddie because... Bad Holly is the one that was having a relationship with the father. Now, we don't know whether Bad Holly liked getting molested by the father or not.
No, I think we're meant to assume that bad Holly developed because good Holly, or just regular Holly, could not handle it. So I'm not comfortable at all suggesting that somebody enjoyed being molested, but perhaps she wanted to protect her father because it's still her father.
That's probably true. I hate that.
I mean, here's the thing. The film doesn't explain this element enough. And this is tantamount in my views to, we introduced a sexual assault into this film because it gives us something for the character to have to work through. And it's like, yeah, but you don't want to spend any of the time or energy to actually unpack it.
Yeah.
It does work in this film in order to explain, okay, this is why there is, these two different versions of Holly. But this idea that, then we're framing the brother, putting him away in the mental institution, and all in service because we wanted to protect dad. It's like, no, you need to spend a little bit more time unpacking this.
Yeah, but either way, so I think the only murder that Holly has committed is the murder of her mother. Any other time we saw, like, the sunglasses Holly...
Oh, it's Dr. Heller.
That's Dr. Heller, every time.
100%.
But in that opening scene, we see the sticky webbing between Holly's fingers.
Yes, we do.
So, okay, Joe, continue. What happens after this villain monologue?
Okay, so Dr. Heller is prepared to kill Patrick because, as we said, he's going to frame Holly for this so that he can get her under control. But she has woken up at this point. She doesn't get physical, but she does scream. And this creates earthquakes. We blow open the double pane doors.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally seeing cracks in the walls and the foundation.
Wind going nuts.
Mm-hmm. And then we start to transform. So I'm not going to take you through the step by step, but we get to one point where she kind of looks like a bit of a goopy sperm. This splits open to reveal two bloody Hellraiser-style skeletons. One immediately knocks the other one out. So it's kind of like, let me just take control of the situation. Smack. So one of these is down for the count. And I think, again, you can look at it as, these are the two physical manifestations of her personality. So good Holly, as we have been calling her, has been taken out. She's back on the couch.
Yes.
Then we have the other one who attacks Dr. Heller. He tries to defend himself, so he has this knife and he stabs this creature in the chest, but it doesn't do much. And Hellraiser monster skeleton thing then picks him up, throws him through the stained glass window, and he dies.
He lands on a spiked fence, but Joe, there is a split-second shot where it is clearly a dummy hitting this spiked fence, and it is glorious.
I love a dummy. We love a dummy.
Love a dummy, I know. Okay, so I think the whole idea behind this is, so like, you know, Holly's trauma of being molested by her father created the split personality thing, right? Okay. So, based on what Sister Jan told us, though, the doppelganger can, an actual doppelganger, like a physical, like splitting of the person, can also happen from trauma. And so, I think that in the opening scene, when she's killing her mother, I do think that this is good Holly kind of on the inside. Like, whenever her nose bleeds, that is when the threat, it's cluing you in that the doppelganger split could happen any moment. Like, her body is evolving to that point because of the trauma. So Holly killing her mother, even though it's bad Holly, something in good Holly is still finding this traumatic. So it's almost like causing her like to split at a certain point.
Yeah, it's a physical warning that the darker side of her is probably about to take control, maybe to protect her.
Well, not just take control, but cause this metamorphosis.
Right. It's a physical symptom of the change.
Yes. And so I do believe this is the first time this doppelganger split has happened to Holly. But that's supposed to be the big, like, almost emotional climax for her character, where she's finally hit enough of a traumatic point where it's not just, she's not going to make another personality. She's physically splitting, metamorphosizing, becoming the true definition of what a doppelganger is in this moment.
So you think she was nearly there when she commits the murder of her mother, because she does have it on her fingers, but she never gets all the way there.
Correct. Yes. Okay. And I think it's because in that moment, it is bad Holly, the personality, that is primarily in control. Whereas in this moment in the climax, it's good Holly that's in control.
But, okay, so wait, you think that this is good Holly who has smacked bad Holly unconscious?
Oh, no. That's bad Holly, clearly. But I'm saying the reason she changes here is because before the metamorphosis happens, when she's on the couch and she's screaming, that's good Holly.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But you're right. So she splits. I think it's a mistake to not have the two creatures have any distinguishing characteristics from each other to make one look like the good one and one look like the bad one. But
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Maybe this is why I was making a twins reference earlier, is because they do kind of look like two halves of a single creature that's just been split. Like they're clearly their own being, but they look like they do merge together. So I guess you don't want them to look distinct.
I guess because, yeah, when they're splitting and coming back together, it's very thingy.
Right. And folks, we haven't really talked about this apart from me mentioning casually, oh, it's Hellraiser, kind of monstery. Like, think of Julia from Hellraiser 2, what she looks like, and then kind of dress it down a little bit.
Well, because they're kind of like your stereotypical image of what an alien would look like. They're really tall, skinny, and they have like an alien-shaped face. Like that's... Yes. And I saw a Letterboxd review, too, that said this is one of KMB's like worst effects. And I was like, I don't know what movie you watched, but I thought this looked great.
I mean, it doesn't look convincing if you're meant to believe it's kind of a skinny, skeleton-y creature, but I mean, I'll say it again because I've said it 15 fucking times in this recording. This is such a weird curiosity. Yeah. Like, folks, if we hadn't cued you to this, if you went into this movie cold, which I really hope a bunch of you
we did.
Like, you cannot predict that this is where this film will go. So when we get to this, like, I saw somebody say this is a little Cronenbergian, right? You know, it's giving off shades of The Fly and other weird nonsense like that. Sorry, good nonsense. But you truly do not expect, like, why is KNB attached to this movie? And then you get to hear and you go, never mind, I know now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild, and I love it.
And again, on a first watch, I was truly like, I don't know how the fuck we got here, but like, I'm into it.
We are here now.
But I do think, I mean, it mostly makes sense to me. I do think there are some filmmaking errors where it's like, you could have cleaned this up a bit to make this more clear. And
you mean he could have taken the note and maybe taken the $20,000 and we could have played with a couple scenes, edited it down, put it to media.
But I like, because again, even like the Sister Jan scene feels so late into the runtime to introduce like the concept of the doppelganger, but it's there just because we have this monster scene. If we didn't have this monster, we wouldn't need the Sister Jan scene.
Yeah, because I think the earlier scene where we literally have Ellie pull out a kind of pocket dictionary and define doppelganger for us, but you think, okay, yeah, that's just about the split personality, but the doppelganger stuff is courtesy of Sister Jan.
Yeah, that feels more folkloric to me, like the Sister Jan definition of it.
Yeah, it reminded me almost of the Irish folklore stuff where it's like we steal the baby and then we take their place, but they're not quite right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay, so needless to say, so Dr. Heller has been killed, but Patrick is still under threat. This creature seems to be coming after him, but then it pauses and it kind of looks at him because love, Trace. So,
well, because he's fucked the bad one before.
Well, that too, yes.
Maybe it was really good.
We got confirmation from Holly that he's a pretty good lay.
Yeah, that's true.
So, anyway, so this creature who is still active and awake goes back to the other one that has been knocked out. We merge again. I will say this is just us running the film in reverse.
Backwards.
It's fine. I'm not mad about it.
I do like, because Holly keeps bleeding as soon as we get Drew Barrymore back, she's bleeding. And I was like, okay, I guess it's then from the knife wounds that...
Exactly. Yeah, they're not impervious to it. It's just that in that state, they were able to kind of postpone being affected by it.
Yeah.
But in human form, yes, Holly is now bleeding profusely. And oh shit, this is when Ellie and the paramedics and the cops, we all burst in because it's the end of the movie. But it seems like Holly has died because we then cut to Patrick at the fucking funeral in this Gooding mausoleum. And you just think, whoa. What? No, she can't be died. Dead. What the fuck?
But it's like our 5th dream sequence in this movie.
Oh my god, too many dream sequences now. So we have Ellie giving him some space, and then we get hot Holly coming in. She's got a different haircut. She's even more sexualized than usual.
Well, she's wearing like a see-through dress. You can see her nipples through it.
Yeah, and she's super aggressive when she wants to make out with him, but then all of a sudden it's the creature teeth and other things. Don't worry, folks. This is just Patrick's nightmare. He's actually in the hospital room with Holly. She's recovering. And then it's almost like Captain Dum-Dum didn't listen to the fucking story that Dr. Heller told us, because he just takes out the music box, which is the symbol of incestuous rape now, puts it onto the fucking tray and, opens it up so that Holly can listen to the lovely little music. He goes back to bed. She smashes the fucking music box, and then the movie's over.
Yeah, and but I think, look, it's a bit shorthand, but I kind of like that. It's like, I guess Holly's journey this entire movie has been, I guess, realizing that she was molested by her father, and also moving past it.
Yeah, taking a certain amount of agency back, saying, I don't love Daddy, I don't need to be thinking about it and everything. Like, in that shorthand fashion, it does work. This tells me that Patrick is not a good partner for her, because he clearly has not been paying attention.
Well, and again, it's a thing where it's like, okay, well, I guess we're only doing this because we have to have someone put the music box on her hospital bed. But I don't know, find another way to do it where it's not Patrick being a fucking idiot.
Yeah, like have it be a nurse say, hey, this fell out of your bag when we were bringing you in, or some dumb shit like that. But I guess we didn't want to give another person their SAG card either.
Probably not. But and then it's over. It just ends.
It's just over. We are done. You know what? I'm done with this movie. I don't want to edit it. I don't want to film additional scenes. So
Never. It's good as is.
Jesus. It's a mess. Like, it is messy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm probably not going to say, oh, everyone needs to check this film out, except for the fact that it is such a campy fucking good time.
Yeah.
And it feels like the kind of Lifetime movies we don't get anymore, or that people still continue to write off, albeit with a KNB effect in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah. It's, totally worth a watch. If y'all did listen to this without having seen it, good for you, but honestly, watch
you missed out.
Yeah, you missed out on watching this movie blind, because it is, even the Wikipedia plot doesn't do this movie justice. I will say that.
No, because even removing the wild end of this film, there's still so much bizarre shit going on, just so many unusual choices. It's a true what the fuck kind of film.
True what the fuck, and I'm so happy to have seen it.
Yeah, no, me too.
All right, everyone. Well, before we announce what we're covering next week, some quick housekeeping. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us on Blue Sky and Instagram at HorrorQueers. Shoot us an email at horrorqueers@gmail.com. Find us on Letterboxd to keep track of all the films we've covered. If you want to chat with other listeners, please join our HorrorQueers Discord. If you have a moment, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you want more content, please support the show by becoming a patron at patreon.com/HorrorQueers. If you subscribe today, you will get 453 hours of Patreon content, including this month's new episodes on Whistle, The Strangers Chapter 3, Sam Raimi's Send Help, a new audio commentary on 10 Cloverfield Lane, and the start of our requel tier coverage of Mike Flanagan's The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, we've already dropped one episode, and folks, it's been really fun to revisit this. Like, we are doing deep dives into these episodes.
Yeah, and it's a show that holds up at his age very, very, very well.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, those performances, so good.
But Joe?
Yes.
What are we talking about next week?
Well, Trace, I feel like these journeys into the past have been great, but I'm going to need to go Puritan level flashbacks. So we're going to party with a very crank-tankerous, my God, what is he, a goat? No.
Yeah, he's a goat. Black Phillip.
He's a goat, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to party with Black Phillip. So we're going to talk about the Veach.
The Veach. Y'all, it's still the witch. It's just stylized. It's the witch.
It's that. Yeah. 10th anniversary, Trace.
Oh my God, it's that old? Holy shit. Seems like an entire another generation. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm excited because I love The Witch. I think it's a fantastic movie. But yeah, until next week, everyone, we can cross out Doppelganger.
Indeed. And cross out HorrorQueers.